Like like sorry, like brand new MHA program, brand new. Yeah. I want to do that because Cecily does it. She's an adjunct professor.
Yeah,
Too bad.
yeah. So
I don't know whoever wants to start with after intro. So after my
I think they'll tell us.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Welcome to our session. So we are Facade, and we'll be facilitating the panel tonight. My name is Janae. I am the president this year.
And my name is Kennedy. I am the professional development chair this year.
So before we get started, I just want to tell you about the mission of Facade. So Facade strives to create an atmosphere where academic and professional excellence can coincide with the interests of populations of African descent. We strive to disseminate and exchange information regarding the concerns of marginalized groups in the field of public health and to serve as a network and support system for educational and professional purposes.
And additionally, the purpose of Facade is to create an atmosphere and space where an academic and professional excellence can coincide with the interests of populations of African descent. Individuals can find their fullest expression through interaction with other students of African descent and feel free to express themselves openly, raise concerns, and find a sense of belonging. And now we'll get ready to introduce our panelists. You can start in whichever order you guys would like to go.
Hi everybody, hello. Nice to be here tonight. I'm Educator Lucio. I am a business analyst in the Office of Development, so I think fundraising, work at Michigan Medicine Office of Development, and I'm an adjunct lecturer at the School of Information. So that's all I'm having.
Hi everyone, good evening. I'm David Fuller Jr. I'm a program manager for Community Health Integrated Operations for Henry Ford Health in Detroit, Michigan. I'm HMP 23, so graduated recently, go blue. And it's nice to see you all in this room, in this space. Formerly as well, I was the vice president of Facade while I was in grad school. So, hey y'all.
Thank you. Hi, everybody. I'm Dr. Darla Bishop. Yes, please say the doctor. It took 8 years. You'll hear about that later. And so I wear multiple hats because it turns out I have ADHD. I just learned that. Okay.
And that's all right.
Right, and it's all right, and it's my superpower. Okay, and so I work as a director at a Medicaid managed health plan in Washington D.C. I am a professor at Michigan State University teaching in their program of public health. They are working to achieve a school of public health, but it's going to take them some time. And I am also a financial literacy educator. I published my debut personal finance book in December of 2023. So I've been on a book tour all year, spreading the word about how to afford everything, including grad school. So I'm so happy to be here. I love coming back to school whenever I get the chance. And I happen to be free tonight. So here I am. Yes.
And hi, everyone. I'm Ashley Tanksley. I was in the Pop Health program, graduated in 2023. I am a program manager at the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services in our Office of Equity and Minority Health. So I manage our 15 mobile health units across the state, providing access to lots of services for Michiganders.
That's great.
Yes, it's so great to have our panelists, and we're so blessed to have you all here. We do have some structured questions for you all that we've kind of thought about preemptively before you all got here, and then we're also open to take questions from the audience as well. So Janae, we'll start us off with the first question.
Okay, our first question is, could you share some of the unique experiences you have encountered as a Black person in the field of public health?
He seemed like he was ready.
Y'all.
Mhm.
It's good things to be young, gifted, and black. I could end there, okay? But it's good things because you pull upon your lived experiences, you pull upon the research, you pull upon the public health practices, you pull upon the communities that you want to serve when you go into the workforce. And when you got that degree behind your name, guess what? They can't tell you anything because you have that education and they can't take that from you. They can't pour in imposter syndrome. They can't do anything because when you walk into that interview, you got your community behind you. When you walk in that interview, you got your village behind you. You got ancestors. You got public health heroes. You got Dr. Cornelli behind you. That spirit is in you. That spirit is in your education journey. And when you start your professional journey, that's when the magic happens. So stand in it and always bring that to the table. Always be gracious. And the best revenge is your paper. Get your degree and do the work. That's it.
Yeah, just echoing a lot of that too, and just realizing that sometimes you might be one of the only people that looks like you in the room. I deal with that a lot personally. We have an office of 100 where I work, and I'm one of probably five that look like me, and it's hard to know. You have to put on the corporate face a lot. I'll be very candid about that. Have conversations with people, and we work in fundraising, as I said. So sometimes it's hard to have some conversations about some things, but just trying to walk the fine line, obviously standing firm on who you are, what you believe in, and never being ashamed of who you are. Essentially.
Mhm. I will tell a story. So, when I was still in my doctorate program, I was working for a health plan here in Michigan, and I was reporting directly to the CEO. Me and the CEO weren't quite getting along. And the type of role that I had, it was very important that we were able to get into a groove and stay into a groove. So we were in the process of negotiating my reassignment. And in the process of me renegotiating my assignment, I went to meet with other executives to say, oh, I know you've seen me. I work closely with the CEO. I'm looking for a new assignment. And they kind of look like, I wonder what that's about. And I say, don't worry. And I remember I had an interview with the person I ultimately ended up working with, but didn't know based on how this interview went. So I come into the interview. He's had my resume. He's worked with me tangentially for a couple of months. And I mentioned, oh, well, I'm in a doctorate program and I'm a military spouse. So every once in a while, I have some military obligations, but I usually have good notice for those unless the Army moves us, but we're not on the cycle to move. And then I mentioned a couple of other things I had going on. And he said, well, how exactly are you going to do all that? I said, the same way I do it now. And he was like, oh, right. Oh, right. Oh, okay. Thanks. But I remember him being like so surprised that my capacity was high because he had dealt with so many people who had very low capacity, even though he was on the top floor. And so, what will happen from time to time is you will show someone just how good you are, and they'll be like, they can't believe you're that good because they've never seen anybody that good. So, in the conversations that are happening now about, diversity hires, take a deep breath, like, really, the problem is they let y'all in and we're running circles around them. And they're like, we got to get them out of here. They making us look bad. They in here doing double the work at half the time because their parents told them they had to. And oh my God, they know how. They got 3 jobs and they excellent at all of them. They're serving their community. They can't even fathom. They can barely do one thing. So at work, be mindful about how much of your world you share because they're going to believe it but not believe it. They're like, I can't believe you have so much energy for that. How do you do it? I can barely do my job. And I'm like, I know, Susan. I literally sent you an email last week about why you can barely do your job. I put it into ChatGPT to check my tone, but you still haven't replied to it. So maybe you didn't get it. So that was the story.
Yeah. Um, I'll say this. I've worked at many organizations in different spots and how that looks. Um, and it wasn't until I actually got into MDHHS in our Office of Equity and Minority Health, I could actually be my authentic self. Um, so I think that's really key. Trying to find a role that you can be your authentic self. Still a little bit less than, what you would be outside, PPM with your friends. But being able to contribute in that way. Um, for example, I was at a healthcare organization and I didn't meet my boss for the first 2 weeks because she was on vacation. And then when I did meet her, we had our first meeting and she said in the meeting, I'm glad that you're here because we had a town hall before I went on vacation and the people didn't want to hear from me. and they wanted to hear from someone that looks like you. And it says a lot about who is in leadership and what they are trying to convey. And so I think it's really important, one, to know the spaces that you're walking into, but also the value that you add to those spaces as well.
Sure.
I think in hearing those answers and just hearing those stories, I think we can all relate to that. I mean, as aspiring public health professionals, as someone who are future leaders and change makers in this room, I know that advice is just really invaluable as we are striving to pursue our own aspirations and make an impact in this world. And so I kind of really like how you guys touched on the corporate setting and navigating the corporate setting professionally. I know we're all getting ready to take those steps, whether we're seniors in college or just professional grad students. And so I think, what advice would you all have to other Black men and Black women, specifically in the corporate space, navigating that role within any public health setting? Like, what does that look like? And how do we set ourselves up to navigate that as efficiently as we can while also protecting our peace and making sure that we're bringing the best to the table all the time? So I'd love to hear the audience and I would love to hear your approach and how to navigate that efficiently.
Can I take this one? Thank you. So I'm a little bit older than the panelists, I think. I graduated from this program in 2009. And because of my multiple interests, I counted it. I actually have 46 years of job experience, even though I'm not even 40, because I frequently have more than one role at a time. So I've worked for a lot of people in a lot of different settings. And what I have started to tell people, because I think depending on when you were raised, some of us got the message of follow your heart, follow your passion, do work you love and you'll never work, right? Depending on kind of how old your parents are and how old you were growing up. And one of the things that I want to also tell you, which Gen Z is doing it, is that work isn't everything. And so think about how you design the entirety of your life, what things truly matter to you. And for the work portion of that pie, get all you can from it, whether that's money, whether it's really great relationships and a network, whether it's work that does make you feel good. But if something is lacking at work and the bills are paid, find something else outside of that work that helps fill those gaps. And when you're working, one of the things, so I like to talk about money, so we're gonna talk about money, is one of the mistakes I see many people make, not just us, but many people make, is we don't take full advantage of our benefits. We get our paycheck and then we maybe do our health insurance, we maybe do our dental, sometimes we do the flexible spending accounts. But I worked for a person who was making almost $3 million a year, but she made sure her salary was $3.2 million a year after bonuses, but she made sure that she maxed out every single benefit that company had. And the reason she did that, she said, this is part of my compensation. Mm-hmm. If I don't take full advantage of these benefits, I am giving myself a pay cut. And I was like, oh. So the company at that time had, she didn't need childcare resources, but they had a childcare resource you could do. They had discount programs. They had professional development funds. She used everything. She sucked them people dry, even though she was making $3.2 million a year. So if you go into a job and you're going to make 40 to 60K, please, I beg of you, read that benefit handbook and take them people for every penny. Every penny is part of your compensation.
Ashley, would you like to go next? Just looking at the crowd, I want to make sure that we touch on the question on just how to navigate the workplace as a Black woman, right? I really want to make sure they hear the message first from y'all too.
Please feel free to add any other tidbits
and I will.
Plus the question.
And I will. We're going there. We're going there off script too.
I think Dr. Bishop said a lot and summed up a lot. I think my main point is one, finding boundaries and implementing those boundaries and keeping those boundaries. I did not do that with my first job. And I worked at SPH. So I'll just say it. Okay.
Name the room.
So but it also gave me the experience that I needed to understand what public health was. There was not an undergraduate program. There wasn't really conversations about public health at the time. So I really wanted to learn hands on, diving right in what public health was because I was thinking I was passionate about it, wasn't fully sure, but really wanted to learn more. I think also, and I'll share something one of my bosses told me, make sure that you are networking. A lot of the information or deals or relationships that you build happen not at your job, but at a mixer, on a golf course, at a organization, a community-based organization. I know me and David, we're a part of several organizations
Yes.
together.
Still connected.
Still
Post-grad.
connected. Post grad, like we were both on Facade
Yeah.
Board,
Together.
and so those connections are really critical. So if you can find another organization to kind of lift you back up, that's really important.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and to echo off of that too, the boundary thing is really important. So if you know what time you're scheduled to work, be in then, but after you're clock out, close the computer. Trust me, people send an email, they're not gonna have any issues getting response tomorrow. And just when it's lunchtime, take that lunchtime. Because a lot of, at least the office I work in, a lot of people just in general just sit at the computer all day and answer emails all day. They don't even get up, don't do anything. So I think definitely that, and being very stern about that. I mean, like we talked about maximizing the benefits. I mean, lunch is unpaid, but you have 1 hour unpaid, so don't be working for free. Just it's not worth it.
Yeah.
When you get into your profession, definitely set those boundaries at the beginning, because most of you probably already know. Once you start working extra for free, staying later, they'll take advantage. They won't give a raise when you deserve one. So I think that's really important too, and just being very stern in the way you communicate with people. So what I mean by that is be upfront and don't be afraid to say things. Obviously within reason. Obviously, you don't want to have HR emailing you, but say things that need to be said when it's appropriate and applicable. I think it's very easy to just get through the day, just go to your desk, work, and then just leave. But I think really being involved, and also on top of that, you don't necessarily have to express your interests to everybody at work, but I think definitely knowing what your interests are outside of work. We talked about having work-life balance. I know it's a term we talk about a lot. We don't really focus on or really try to implement as much. But work-life balance is very important for me, especially because I teach as well. I know you probably have same experiences. You really have to have interests outside of work. So work can be something you enjoy doing. It can be what you love, and obviously you want to get paid to do stuff you enjoy doing. But there are things you have to do outside of work, and that's where also your networking comes in. I mean, for me, I go out and play rec sports. That's my networking, I guess, if you want to call it that, outside of work. So just things like that, really knowing the hobbies and not being afraid to um, dabble in those hobbies and have it be what you want to do outside of work.
Thank you to all of my panelists, to my left and my right, that have shared so many wonderful thoughts and things that I hope y'all are taking mental notes, or you writing down in your notes in your phone, or you writing it down on paper, right? Because these are important gems of wisdom that you will want to take with you as you go through the rest of grad school, as you enter the workforce for real. For real. Like, I hope y'all take out your phones at some point and start writing some stuff down, because we're about to go there as we continue this panel. But to add to what my panelists have mentioned already, I will say, work hard but play harder. Okay? Because that's how you have balance in life. Whether that's hobbies, whether that's hustling outside of your 9 to 5, make it your 5 to 9. Okay? That's how you work 2, 3 jobs at the same time. That's how you get 40 plus years of work experience, is that you're grinding and grinding and grinding. But you're not grinding until the point of burnout.
Right.
That's important too.
Right.
Because once you burn yourself out, you have nothing left to give. So your work starts to fail and struggle. You feel mentally exhausted and you feel the stress that we all talk about. And the most important thing as Black women is to control our stress, our nervous system, and the effects of weathering. okay? And weathering can come in multiple forms, whether you like it or not, whether you can control it or not, because we still work in these systems and these institutions that will work you just enough to justify how much they pay you. But when you negotiate that job, make sure you get paid what you're worth. Okay, the work, the output that you're putting out there, make sure that it's of value and that those that see your work speak your name in rooms that you are not in because you are doing the work that matters the most, serving the people that you committed to serving, serving the mission of the organization. I work for Henry Ford Health. Our mission is to be the most trusted healthcare partner, period, that a patient has. Our values are compassion, respect, results, and also innovation. So if I'm doing all those things every single day as the only black man in the room, as the only black man that's sitting next to the COO, that's my executive sponsor, because I'm a fellow that works under her, and she is a black woman and an HMP alum, Denise Brooks Williams. And now she's going to be the CEO, you know what I mean, of care delivery system operations. And she got that promotion to COO, right? So here I am sitting next to her in the boardroom, and I'm like, dang, I got the torch and I'm right next to her.
Yep.
I got the mic. She's sitting at the boardroom table and they're all listening to her. All these white people in the room are listening to a black woman that's at the head of the table. Eight. She ate.
Every day.
And I feel so powerful, so superhuman that I'm sitting next to her and I'm learning how she operates, how she leads a team, how she is an executive leader as a black woman and leading a health system that's serving Detroiters, serving black people, serving marginalized communities that I want to serve as well. How powerful is that?
Super.
So I say all that to say, you have to have that champion. You have to have that executive sponsor that's going to look after you because they got you right under their arm, right under their wing, and they're training you. We lift and we bring people up as we climb. Make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, good. All right. All right.
Okay. Thank you for the reminder. I got it.
Thank you. I do want to open the floor up to the audience if you guys have any questions.
Hi, thank you everyone for your wonderful, wonderful advice. What is your advice for how to find what is my outside source? I think we are always in a blind. We have gone from undergrad to graduate to job to negotiate. How do we create that space to find out what is my outlet? What is my balance in life? What do you do to find?
I'll go real quick first. So, like I said, it's important to find that passion. It's important to find that drive, right? But at the same time, think about Beyonce. Beyonce is a beast. She's a Virgo. She's a perfectionist. She is Beyonce because she put in the work. But at the same time, think about the song 16 Carriages. No, for real. Because that's the song that grounds me. Because you can put in so much sacrifice into your art, into your craft, into your passion, into your job, working 9 to 5 to stay alive, for real. But at the end of the day, when you feel like you have to close that laptop, you have to find peace and your outlet at the end of the day that fills your cup again, whether that's a 9 to 5 hustle and that's the 5 to 9 afterwards, whether that's the passion that you're trying to pursue. Because and I didn't mention this in my intro, I'm also the founder and CEO of Resilient Pride Collective. That is my own nonprofit that I'm going to launch this year. And in addition to that, that is something that is my dream. Follow your dreams and passions, but have the 9 to 5 be the stability that gives you the ability to follow those dreams and passions. Because that's what fuels you at the end of the day. And if you're not starting your own business, guess what? Focus on self-care, focus on hobbies, connecting with your girlfriends, connecting with your family, doing things that fill your cup even on the weekends. Make the planning to do things that you enjoy. Because the thing that people do after work, they go home, they sit in bed, they cook dinner, And they may be on TikTok, they may be watching TV, they may be even reading or journaling, but doing something that you feel like is rest. That's the most important thing is rest. And when you follow your passions, then it doesn't feel like work because you're doing something that you enjoy doing. Period.
I have a small edit. So one of the things that I think it's important for to recognize the difference between rest and recharge, because there are some things that give you rest, right? But there are some things that charge you up. And so thinking about how your day and your week and your life is going, think about, okay, is it what I need right now? Rest, and then choose one of those activities, or is what I need is recharge, right? And the things that recharge me is I'm an extrovert. So coming to events like this, going to even just a noisy restaurant can fill my little battery. And so thinking about, okay, is what I need right now rest, which is quiet and slow movement and not a lot of activity, or is what I need is recharge. The other piece that I wanted to say, oh, you said so much, and it was wonderful, and I loved it, and I was listening so good that I couldn't even keep. I was like, but I want to tell them this. I got to tell them this. Is if you're trying to think about how to find those activities, sometimes we're so worried about doing something new. Go back to the old. Like, what is it that you loved as a teenager? What is it that you loved in undergrad? What is it that you loved as a kid, or something that you wanted to do as a kid, but financials or family schedule or dynamic didn't allow it? Go try that. Like, if you always wanted to learn how to swim or do gymnastics, find an adult class for that. Tap in, think about the old stuff, because sometimes you'll bring in new joy and old joy with the old stuff.
I'll just add, you said something about swimming. That was one of the things that I learned this past summer. And that really filled my cup. Like, childhood trauma healed. I don't know. But like, I think just like in general, finding other things that are a passion of yours, right? If it's, I don't know, Pokemon cards. I don't know. Apparently that's something that people are rushing to Costco recently about. It's Pokemon cards. I don't know. I saw it on TikTok. TikTok is also something that I really enjoy. I learn a lot. I love a Duolingo, learning something new. I'm a learner. I also really enjoy community. So not just within my work, but also just being in community with people, with you. So find those little bits, even if it's a service, I'm a part of many service organizations. That also fills my cup. So whatever it is to you, it can make an impact on your life and being able to recharge. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Do you want to add? Yeah.
Yeah, and I think definitely doing something where you feel the most grounded, if that makes any sense, something where you feel the most at peace, the most relaxed. For me, that's definitely teaching. I don't enjoy sending reports out, making reports 8 hours a day. That's the day job, and then my teaching is on the side, and that's what I really enjoy doing. I really love talking to people, educating people, and watching people grow, over the course of 4 months. And then, I talk to them again, and everything is different, and they communicate and stuff like that. So I think definitely finding areas where you can completely separate from your 9 to 5 job, your daily job. Just completely push it away, and I can just focus on this. I just feel relaxed and just at peace. So yeah.
Question there. Oh darn!
We just gotta wrap it up.
It's okay. It's okay. Just find us. Catch us outside. Catch us outside.
We can kiki all day. But yeah, we're so thankful to have you all, and it's so comforting.
Meet us at the end.
To
The networking.
Yeah, see you all in the space that we're aspiring to be in. It's beautiful to see. So thank you for taking the time and for coming here today and kind of speaking these words into us.
I just want to say thank you again. And can we possibly take a picture?
Of course.
Yes.
I was going to ask for that.
Yes. And y'all, hello, hey y'all, hey. Y'all find us at the networking part at the end of all of this, okay? We gotta talk. All right, y'all find us. Like right here,
So we're coming on that side of the table, right? Okay. Excuse me. I'm gonna take. I think.
No, I feel like